Good evening. This is Guster the Briard. Guster, Guster, Guster. He's more handsome than me. Got a big stick. Anyways, so Guster makes a good little backdrop. I just saw a couple of tweets about fucked up mine, talking about DNC replica servers, and just wanted to verify. That's kind of how I got started in this little mess. I worked at a company called Datto, Datto. I started there around September of 2015. And when I was at Datto Corporation, supposed to be my dream job. It was my first job where I got to be a director of a whole function. And a week after the job started, things started getting really weird. My boss got pulled in some meetings. A bunch of people started to need to go to DC. Supposedly, something was going on with email. And as I found out later, I mean, I was pretty naive to all of the details. You can hear the beautiful little crickets in the background in our yard. We have a good sized yard here in Massachusetts. And I started to figure out that something happened. Really didn't have anything necessarily to do with Datto's own choices. And again, as I was just starting to say, I was pretty naive to the specifics of the situation and politics in general, actually. I guess I always leaned a little bit, maybe conservative, but I'm also, very environmental and everything else that, a typical 30, 40-year-old would be in the tech industry. And as I learned over time, is what had happened is there was an accidental backup of uh, Hillary Clinton's emails to an offsite backup server. That whole picture that you see regarding the email backups and like in a bathroom server, that thing is a total hoax. That's not true. That's not the truth. The specific situation is that there was a backup device, a physical backup device from Datto Corporation, used. It was paid for by the service provider that Hillary Clinton was using, and that system was making essentially hourly full disk image backups of her email server to an offsite location. A disk image backup is one where the entire image of the disk, including all the blocks that are on the disk drives, the solid state drive, whether it be a solid state or a mechanical hard drive, everything, all the metadata, all the file system metadata, everything necessary to reconstruct that system is backed up on an hourly basis. That means that even if the data is logically deleted, well, you know what? Unless the data is actually scrubbed, even if the data is scrubbed on the disk, there are backup copies, and backups have a retention of up to several years. So even though Hillary Clinton's email server was bleach bitted, even though that was the case, several years, each hourly backup is going to be maintained. And before they did the bleach bit, right, Guster? Before they did the bleach bit, um, the logical file deletions of the emails, those that data would have been backed up as well. This stuff is all backed up to shared shared servers, which have a certain number of clients, which are in the cloud that Datto Corporation was maintaining. And it just so happens that, and I was digging in through some one of those FBI reports. I happened to notice that there was a guy in there named Peter Strzok. I thought it was just bad handwriting or something. Strzok. And I started doing some digging. This is around, let's see here, 2017. And it appears as though Peter Strzok was called in to handle the situation as part of that whole FBI probe. And you can actually go through the documents yourself. And it's sure enough, back on October, make sure I got the date here, October 5th or October 6th, he and several other people went to the offsite data center and physically picked up the actual physical server that had those backup copies on it. Ever since October 2015, the FBI has had the server with the backup copies on it. You can look at the FBI file. You can look at the serial number of the system. It's a 36 drive system. I believe the manufacturer would have been a Supermicro. Of course, this means that all of the data that's on that system from other companies, which of course would have had to back up to it because these are our shared systems, would have also had their data unknowingly confiscated and owned and in possession of the FBI would have had that data in their possession. How awful is that? Does anyone know that? So the FBI has the data, and even if the data was logically scrubbed on the backup server by someone, and it would not have been data. Data was completely innocent in this, by the way. Love the company, always do. I know maybe I'm a little biased right there, but of course I could probably get into a whole bunch of trouble just for saying this stuff. Um, Even if the data on that server was logically deleted, you would then have to physically scrub it. And the file system used on those is something called ZFS, which is developed by Sun Microsystems. And it is very, very difficult to do 7-pass overwrites on ZFS file systems. Very, very difficult because you're always writing the data to new locations because of it's just a consequence of the way they do overwrites of existing data. So the FBI has had it. It's there. I don't know what else to say. Um, that's pretty much it. So when you see things like replica servers, yes, there were full replicas. There were multiple disk images. I don't know exactly what the retention schedule was. I don't know if it was a 3 or a 5 or a 7 year, but even if those emails were deleted in 2015, 2014, the data would have still been present on the at the offsite location on that server. The FBI has it. It's been in their possession. I swear to God, the FBI has had the backups of all at least 30,000 Hillary Clinton emails. And by the way, remember, when people email, those emails go to other servers. So every email that Hillary Clinton has emailed, there's a copy of that on every single other server and every recipient that she has sent those emails to. And all of those systems probably also have backups in the cloud. You can again go to the FBI files and you can see that Peter Strzok sent all kinds of requests to like the different the energy committees within DC. I forget exactly what they were, nuclear regulatory, et cetera, to try to get copies of those emails from them too. But wherever they went, whoever she sent those emails to, they would also have backup copies. So, and everything sent to her, she would have copies of that in her inbox. And even if those emails were deleted, remember these are full disk image backups, which keep everything. You don't realize how hard it is to delete data from everywhere in the world until you actually have to. So, please, President Trump, call these people out. Get this done. We don't need consequences. We don't need arrests. Just get the freaking truth out there. Get it done. Let's move on, and we can all move on together. Uh, Peace, everyone. Make Earth great again.